For over 75 years, the University of Cambridge Local Examination Syndicate has been conducting examinations in English as a foreign language. Today, these examinations are taken in over 60 countries worldwide by more than 150,000 students each year. Today we're here in Cambridge for a rather special occasion, to find out about a new examination. And here to tell us about it are Richard West, head of the Examination Working Party, and Tricia Aspinall, head of the Examination Production Unit. Tricia, what is this new examination?
It's called the Certificate in Advanced English, the CAE for short, and as its name suggests, it's an examination for those with an advanced level of English.
And how does CAE fit into the existing Cambridge examinations?
Well, as you're probably aware, the most widely taken of the examinations is the First Certificate in English, the FCE. And at the most advanced level, there is the Certificate of Proficiency in English, the CPE.
So do you see the new CAE exam as a halfway stage between First Certificates and Proficiency?
Yes, although for many candidates, the CAE will provide a qualification at the end of their English course. We also think that many employers will regard the CAE as being a much more appropriate qualification than the much more academic CPE. The level of CAE has been fixed between FC and CPE, and there is a family resemblance. The format of the examination is also much the same. There are 5 papers. The names have changed somewhat, but I think they'll be easily recognised. There's paper 1, which is the reading, paper 2, writing, paper 3, English in use, paper 4, listening, and paper 5, the speaking paper. We've been working on CAE since 1988, and we hope we've incorporated some of the latest developments in EFL methodology.
Such as?
Well, there are innovations in the individual papers, such as the greater use of authentic texts, the multiple matching techniques in the reading and listening papers, and the greater use of computer marking. But perhaps most noticeable are the changes in the speaking paper, and it's those I'd like to show you now.
In what way is the speaking paper different?
Well, as you can see immediately, there are 2 examiners and 2 candidates in the room. At the start, in phase A, all 4 sit together and introduce themselves to each other. After that, the 2 candidates talk about themselves and each other, their families, their hobbies, their ambitions, how long they've been learning English, and so on.
His hobbies are sports, music, and I remember you told me economics.
Reading, politics,
political magazines, more or less.
And his hobbies are traveling and football. He's fan of the local football team, and he likes also Barcelona Football Club.
Oh, that's fortunate, isn't it?
Under the circumstances.
This phase puts candidates at ease and gets everyone talking socially in short turns.
And,
Alternatively, if they don't know each other, the candidates may be asked to describe their homes or their work, and perhaps compare them.
Could you tell Mauro a little bit about what it's like to live in Tokyo?
Living in Tokyo is very energetic. Tokyo is a very energetic city, and everybody is rushing, and always a lot of people in Tokyo, and very exciting spot, especially in the night.
Mm-hmm. Does it sound like the sort of place that you would like to live, Mauro?
No, I'm a quiet person, and I like to think over, and I need the time for myself.
So, in phase A, there are 2 candidates and 2 examiners. All 4 talk together so that there is social interaction between the 4 of them. This helps to put candidates at their ease, but it also elicits general conversation in short turns. That's phase A. How many phases are there?
There are 4 phases altogether, lasting about 15 minutes. And each phase is meant to elicit a different kind of speech from the candidate.
So if phase A elicited social language, what happens in phase B?
Well, in phase B, as you will see, the 2 candidates are talking to each other. First, one of the examiners sets up a task for the candidates and then withdraws a little.
Now, in this part of the test, I'm going to give you each a picture to look at. Attia, this is a picture for you. Don't show your picture to the other person. I'd like you to describe your picture to Sabina, who has a picture which is similar in some way, but not exactly the same as your picture. And you have about 1 minute.
The first candidate speaks for about a minute.
There is a glass full of with strawberries, pears, and a cream on it. And near the glass also there is another one. I don't know how to call it. And it's also a sweet dessert, I think. And behind these bottles and glasses, there is a sandwich.
Now, Sabina, I'd like you to tell Attia just briefly how your picture is different from hers as far as you can see.
Yes, I have only 2 glasses in the picture. And I don't think there is a sandwich in my picture.
Then the second candidate is given a different task.
Yes.
And
Here we see an information gap task, with the second candidate giving instructions to the first.
Draw a square so that all 9 sheep will be in that square.
Inside.
Yes, a big square.
Yes.
It isn't necessary to complete each task successfully, but credit is given for relevant and helpful instructions.
So, in phase B, the 2 candidates each have a turn, while the examiners withdraw. Each candidate is given an information gap task with visual prompts. Each candidate has the opportunity to speak for about a minute in a long turn.
Yes, the purpose of this phase is to test the candidate's ability to transmit information to each other. For example, one candidate has a complete picture, while her partner has a picture with some of the lines missing. She gives instructions so that her partner can complete the picture with the missing lines.
So, after the information gaps in phase B, what happens in phase C?
Phase C tests collaboration and negotiation. Here we can see 2 candidates working together to solve a problem.
I don't know if you've seen this picture before, but it's an advertisement. What I want you to do is to talk together for a few minutes and discuss what you think it might be advertising.
It's rather strange that a car is in the middle of the picture and all these people are standing around the car. It's rather strange, isn't it? And
something very peculiar.
The candidates talk together for 2 or 3 minutes, trying to agree on a solution to the opinion gap problem.
and why do you think
Or they may agree to disagree.
they have chosen an orchestra around a car?
Maybe it's for not only for a car, but for a radio in a car. I don't know.
I don't know why they chose music.
So, in phase C, the 2 candidates again work together on a problem-solving task and collaborate and negotiate to find a solution to the problem they've been set.
After 2 or 3 minutes, phase C moves on to phase D. One of the examiners asks the candidates to sum up their discussion.
The thing that's not there is the slogan at the bottom, and it's how to fit all 81 members of a symphony orchestra into your car perfectly. And it's an advertisement for stereo equipment for a car.
As you can see here, the candidates may not actually solve the problem, but in phase D, they are given the chance to report their outcome.
Do you think it works?
They'll also have a chance to discuss the broader context of the problem in Phase D. In this case, it's advertising.
This sort of advertisement's very common in magazines and on television in this country. I don't know, do you ever watch the TV advertisements?
Yes, I watched advertisement. But I think here in England the advertisements are not very good.
Really?
I think
no,
they're
I don't
better.
like them very much. No. They are too overloaded. Too many things in it. You see too many things, special things. And sometimes you don't know, like this one, what they mean about it, what they want to sell you. And at the end you see the product and I don't like them very much.
You have a different opinion.
Yes, I think because in Germany we get the advertisement and commercials you watch in England, and I think I've seen that one before and it's not new. So the advertisement in English in England is much fresher.
Phase D then brings the two candidates and two examiners together again for the candidates to report on their collaboration in Phase C and to discuss the problem in a broader context.
That's the end of the speaking part of the exam.
I'd like to turn now to Richard West, who's head of the examination working party, to ask about some aspects of assessment. First, Richard, why did you decide to have students in pairs rather than the more conventional one-to-one?
Several reasons, I think. First, we found that students felt at ease talking to each other rather than answering questions put to them by the examiner. Then, we feel that this paired arrangement fits well with the kind of pair work that goes on in many language classrooms, and so we hope this will have a positive effect on language teaching. Then, this arrangement allows us to assess a broader range of spoken language. And of course, having two examiners working together means that we can improve the reliability of the marking of this part of CAE.
What about the marking of CAE? How is the speaking component assessed?
Well, as the candidates are speaking throughout the exam, the examiners are marking them on a scale. Then at the end, the examiners discuss and agree on a grade for each candidate. Marks are awarded for their performance according to 5 separate criteria: the fluency of the interaction, the accuracy of the grammar and vocabulary, the quality of the pronunciation, the extent to which the candidate's language is relevant to the achievement of the task, and finally, the interactive communication, by which we mean the ways in which they interact with their partner.
And what about the results?
With CAE, we're introducing a results profile. This means that candidates will not only get an overall grade for their performance on the examination as a whole. With the results profile, they get a separate grade for each of the 5 papers.
Will that apply to students who fail as well as those who pass the exam?
Oh yes. Candidates who pass will be able to show their strengths to their employers, and candidates who fail will know which parts of the language they've got to give more attention to.
This seems to suggest that all 5 papers in CAE carry equal marks.
Yes, each paper carries 20% of the total for the exam.
Thanks very much to both of you. For full details of CAE and entry forms, you should contact your local Cambridge representative or write to the EFL Division, the University of Cambridge Local Examination Syndicate, 1 Hills Road, Cambridge, CB1 2EU.